Well, I'm going to tell you what awakening means. I'm also going to tell you some of the examples of awakening. And I'm also going to tell you, number 3, what awakening could be. All right. So therefore, awakening can be or is when you wake up in the morning, when you open your eyes and wake up. It can mean a new day. It can mean a new baby is born. It could mean the activity that takes place in your body, the synapse that happens, that sparks in your brain, the SA node in your heart that causes your heart to beat 72 to 100 times every minute of the day. Awakening can be spiritual. It can be a spiritual awakening in that it could be the realization of a sacred dimension existing. Awakening has been around a long time, and there are books on awakening, movies on awakening, music on awakening. When I was 3, my grandmother let me know if this resonates with you in regard to, can you find where the awakening is in these examples? When I was 3, my grandmother said, "Oh, you're going to be the family nurse." And I said to my brother, "Whoa, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Let's go, George." And we walked away. When I was 12, my mother was anticipating delivery of her 9th baby, and the midwife had not arrived yet. And she came to me, she said, "Joyce, I'm so sorry, but I'm really nervous. I think you might have to cut the umbilical cord for me." And I thought, at 12, cut the umbilical cord? I can do that. Or could I? But the midwife arrived just in the nick of time. Thank goodness. When I was 19, I was waffling. I was supposed to be in school. I'm not in school. I was waffling and wavering. I wasn't doing anything. So finally, one day, I decided I'm going to have a conversation with myself. I went to the mirror and I said, "You said you were going to go to school, and you're not in school. What are you going to do about it?" How many can lie to themselves while looking in the mirror?
Not me. Not for long.
Around that time, I found myself working at Johns Hopkins Hospital, an on-the-job training situation, working in the recovery room, and I got an opportunity to get pulled to help out in the delivery room, and I went there. As I walked in the door, this woman was in position to give birth to a newborn baby, and all I could see was blue. My mouth flew open, my eyes was gaping, and that's all I remembered. I do realize somebody put a hat on me, somebody put a gown on me, but I was totally helpless. I thought I could do it. Eventually, I decided to go to school after having that conversation with myself in the mirror. After all, I couldn't lie to myself. And I was in school at University of Maryland when one of the instructors said, "How many here are firstborn girls? Raise your hands." I raised my hand and looked around, and most of the class had raised their hand also. And the instructor just decided to disclose, "You know, firstborn girls in the United States are socially conditioned into becoming either teachers, social workers, or nurses because they are mother's helpmate." I thought going to school was my idea. However, here I am becoming a nurse. I became a nurse. I found myself to be a part of a group of people that studied the same body of knowledge, a part of a group of people that spoke the same language. We studied the same laws. We had the same license. We had the same expectation of the same moral behavior. Well, after going to school, I learned a lot of the responsibilities of being a nurse. I learned a lot of the responsibilities of being a nurse, including After I finished, I reported to duty at my first job. University of Maryland, 3rd floor, 20 beds. I was the evening charge nurse. I sat down to start a report to receive this information on a group of 20 patients. My back was stiff. I was filled with confidence. I was sure, I got this. I can do this job. I sat there and she's proceeded to read off all of the information that I was responsible for this shift with each patient. Patient by patient by patient by patient. And as she read off the responsibilities I was responsible for, I was aware that although I started out very tall and strong and confident in what I could do, I ended up with my head on the table and tired and wondered, how did I get there? Actually, I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders from that experience, and I had to ask myself, can you do this? And I answered myself, yes, I can do this. All I have to do is put one foot in front of the other foot and get started and set some goals. Set some goals. After 40 years of doing this job, I have arrived. I have arrived, and I walk different. I talk different. And after 40 years, I'm sure I look different. However, it isn't about right and it isn't about wrong. Awakening can be many things, but it is about the journey. It is about the journey and doing the best job you can. It is about being a good nurse. It is about being a good banker. It is about being a good baker. It is about being a good farmer. It is about whatever the job is that's in front of you, doing a job well. And the realization, awakening could mean waking up every day and starting all over again with the same thing. And it also can mean realizing that education is a lifetime of learning, changing, growing, and awakening. Thank you.
Woo-hoo.
All right.
Thank you very much.
How fun.
So
this is the first time you did it without any notes at all?
yes. Well, I've done it a couple of times without any notes.
Have you?